Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how you can download and configure our NVMS application. It's a CMS software that allows you to watch your iSNVR series or iSHVR series remotely from home office or corporate office. You can also install that within your own LAN and view your NVRs or DVRs. And again, it works with the IS series NVRs and HVRs, as well as IS cameras and OnVIF cameras. You can download the software from our website, iLinkPro.com, support, downloads, surveillance and security product downloads. And once you get to the page, you'll see that it says Remote CMS/NVMS Windows Software Lite version. This version allows you to view up to 256 cameras from multiple locations, multiple NVRs or DVRs. If you have a Mac, then go ahead and download the Mac version. Depending on when you're downloading it, you may see this page change a little bit. We may add more applications for products that we sell. So look for the right NVMS for IS Series NVR and iSHVR. And the default password is user is admin, and the password is 123456. This is the user ID and password to get into the software. This is not the default password for your NVR or DVR. You'll need that when we add that once the software is installed. We'll look at it in a second. Depending on your browser, it should show you the progress right here that it's downloading it. I'm using Google Chrome. Your browser may show a little different. It may show you on the bottom. But in the interest of time, I went ahead and downloaded and installed the software already. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. It should create a remote client software, which is right here. When you first time start, it may take a little longer because it needs to start all the services. This note pops up. I have an antivirus installed, so I'm going to go ahead and just close that. Just make sure that the on your system tray, this is the server tray. This is started. Once it starts all the services, you can just type in the default user ID and password for the software, which is admin 123456. Check mark this for agreeing to the terms and privacy and log in. Once you log in for the first time, it's going to ask you to change the password. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then it's going to ask me to log into this application with a new password. So I'm going to do next, and it should make sure that I type it correctly. And now it's asking me that I have to log in with the new credentials. So admin, and I'm going to go ahead and type in my password. You can do remember password, so next time you don't have to type it in. You can also do auto login. So if you're using this system for this application, it might be helpful so you don't have to keep hitting login screen if you select the auto login. So right now I'm going to leave it default login. It's going to ask you for the recovery password to recover your password questions. So let's go ahead and I'm just going to 111 and do next. Select these settings based on your preference. And I would leave this default. There are a lot of options here, but I'm just going to leave everything default, and I'm going to hit finish. When it starts the application first time, you'll notice that it opens up some tabs for us by default: resource management, video preview, and record and playback. And we'll look at them in a minute. But what it'll also do first time, it's just going to ask you, where do you want all the recordings, snapshots, alerts, events that you have coming on this particular application saved. You can actually remotely record your NVR, DVR, depending on your bandwidth that you have. Right now it's showing a lot of drives because I have a lot of network drives and local drives. You can select one or multiple one if you want, but right now I'm just going to select one and hit OK, and it's going to create the folder and structure for the recording and the snapshots if you do choose to do that later on. So now that we've done that, I'm going to go ahead and close these tabs so I can show you how we can open them again. First thing we got to do is we have to add your NVR, DVR cameras, and you do that by going into the resource management. Under resource management, you click on add, and again, if you notice, it brings that tab on the top, on the top, and all your recorders, your NVR, DVR, or your cameras will go under encoding device. So click on add. If you're on the same LAN, it should quickly find your cameras or DVRs, and they're going to come in here in the list. But I'm going to go ahead and do it manually, just like if I'm either at the corporate office remotely or home office. If you click here, it gives you some options. You can connect to your NVR, DVR cameras using a static IP address if you have one, and you've done the port forwarding remotely. Or if you're a local LAN, then you can just type in the local IP address of your NVR, DVR camera. You can also click here, and it gives you a few more options here. Serial number option is where if you want to use it using the QR number, the P2P QR number, you just type that in here. So right now I'm going to go ahead and type my static IP address, which is right here. All of our IS Series NVRs and iSHVRs, they work on a standard protocol. However, there are a few options. If you have OnVIF camera, you can do OnVIF. If you have a Hikvision DVR with static IP address, or if you're in local network, you can select that in Dahua. You can't do P2P on Hikvision and Dahua, but if you have a static IP address, you can also connect and bring those cameras in within the same interface. I'm going to go ahead and type in the password. Now this is the password for your NVR or DVR. So I'm going to go and type that for our NVR. On the bottom, I will leave everything here default. On the select area, area is basically where you can create groups. If you have a bunch of C-stores or vape shops or grocery stores, restaurants, you can group them differently if you like. So for right now, I'll go ahead and create one group here, and I'm just going to say iLinkPro demo and hit OK, and I'll put this particular NVR under iLinkPro. If you don't select that, if you don't create one, select that, then we'll put everything, all your cameras for that NVR or DVR under default area. So I'm going to go and select iLinkPro and then hit OK, and you'll see that in a second it'll light up, and that basically means that everything is fine. You can look at your status. This is online status. I'm going to go ahead and add in another live remote location using the P2P or QR code. So again, if you notice, it actually found one of the cameras on our network right here. But I'm going to go ahead and manually add NVR for one of our live location, and I'm going to do it with the P2P number. And since it's our NVR, I'm going to leave it standard protocol, and I'm going to go ahead and use the temporary user that we had created and type in the password. And I can put that in iLinkPro demo, or I can create another group if I want. So I'll go ahead and do live location. And once I do that, I can go in here and select live location and hit OK. And it tells you right here, once it connects, that it's active. Give it a second. And as I mentioned earlier, you can do up to 256 cameras on this particular software. It also depends on how much resources you have. We also have for citywide install, chain stores, larger install, we do have a dedicated hardware and NVMS device, Linux based, that allows you to bring in 2048 channels or cameras, and then you can also add additional hardware if you want to go up to 20 to 30,000 devices. So we do have an enterprise level which we have installed for fewer larger clients. So that option is there, but this is a light version. It has all the functions and features that we have on our hardware. It's just it limits you on 256 devices, as long as your computer or your hardware can support that many cameras and resources. So now that we're connected to both of these, we can go ahead and close it. We don't really need to have this open, and go into the video preview. This is where you can actually create different views. On the bottom, you can actually select different options here. You can create your own custom, so it's very configurable, on how you want to see your layout, and you can create multiple views. So right now, I'm just going to go ahead and let's just do 9 view, and I'm going to go ahead and expand this. And now if you notice that we have 2 groups, so all my cameras from the first group will show up in here. So I'm just going to randomly drag and drop cameras to this view. And I can even bring in a camera from another group. So you can have, like, a lot of our clients, we have a lot of big chain stores that actually buy these to integrate with the POS. So if you want to bring in all your POS cameras, you can do that from all your locations, and then you can go ahead and save this view. And I'm going to go ahead and save that, view 1, and hit OK. And if you notice on the top, it changes the view. Now let's just say I want to add another view, and I can click on plus sign here, go down, and bring in cameras from any of the locations that I may have configured already. So this remote location has our NVR, but has purchased some of our cameras and some of the existing cameras that they've had. So this time I'm just going to create 4 view, and I'm going to save it, and I'm just going to call it, view 2, and hit OK. Now all these views are actually saved in here. You can also move them around. If you have multiple monitors, you can actually drag this to a second monitor. So you can have as many monitors as your system can handle, and you can drag these in different monitors. So it's another great thing you can do with this, especially if you have a large install, or a lot of locations, and you want to have a dedicated system for that. It's a great way to do that. So this is pretty much how you can do play. You can drag and drop. All the options are here. If you have, if your cameras have audio, you can also listen to it. Since I dragged and dropped, it actually hit a star. So I'm going to go ahead and save it again, so it saves my settings. If there are any cameras you have that has audio, you can actually go in here and enable this, and you should be able to hear the audio. Right now there's nobody talking there, so really not going to hear anything. But there are a lot of options here. Let's see if this camera, I'm not sure if this customer doesn't have this particular camera doesn't have a support for audio, so I'm not able to enable that. So next thing, let's go ahead and take a look at how to do playback. So I'll just leave one of the views running and go into home. That's where all your settings are, and go under record and playback. Another cool thing is, because there are so many options we have, you can make them favorite. So usually I like to make the video preview favorite and playback favorite, because we usually do live view and do a lot of playback. And then I also like to make the resource management favorite, so those 3 show up in the top. There are other things you can play around with it. I'm not going to go into all these options because we'd be spending days here. But if there's any other options you like, you can make them favorite as well, and come up. So let's go ahead and look at the record and playback. So I can go into record and playback. There's 2 ways you can do a playback. One is if you're storing locally, you can actually click here and go to your local remote storage server, and when you do that, it actually will bring any videos that are recorded locally on your system. But you can do network device, which means that it's going to do a playback directly from your NVR, DVR remotely, or wherever that device is. If you drop down here, you can select the date and time, or you can do it the other way, or select your cameras, and it actually shows you how many days of recording it has, and you can drop it to any other window, and it'll add that camera in. So let's go ahead and just select maybe 1 or 2 cameras, and then drag it here. There's no recorded, so I must not have the recording turned on those. Let's try. So it's telling me no recorded camera on that. Okay. This is actually our lab system, so I'm going to go ahead and uncheck this. Maybe bring one from the live location. So maybe I'll bring in like POS 1 and POS 2 cameras, and then drop it here. So yeah, so you see, I see one, and then let's go ahead and bring this one right here. I've already done this one, so let's bring. And double click on this, that one. Okay, so now I have it. So you can basically select where you want it, and also double click on those cameras. Let's see if there's any camera here on this one recording. Oh, so this one is recording. So this is from probably night view, and you can basically skip cameras. There are basic options here. If you've used the system, it's pretty straightforward for the most part. And if you have text overlay function, which a lot of our clients do purchase these systems, they will show up here when they bring up the transaction. In fact, let's go ahead and right here. So once she brings it up, you'll see that they'll pop up. And we'll just wait for next customer. You can also increase the quality. So right now I'm on self-adopt, so I can go in mainstream. That's going to require a lot of bandwidth, but if you notice that the camera quality got a lot better. So by default it's set to fluidity, so it'll reduce the quality, but it's going to be much smooth playback. But even this is not bad because I'm only looking at one camera, so it's showing pretty good, and we should be seeing the text. There we go. Okay, so if you notice the text, and then you can change the color of the fonts. You can go ahead and drop quality down to substream, and then it goes back to the the previous one that we saw. So hopefully this gives you a good idea. While we're at the POS topic, there's another thing you can do, which I personally like quite a bit, is we can go ahead and do event, search by event, so we can actually do it by the text. So I'll go ahead and right now stop this or close all of these channels, and by the way, you can drag and drop this to another monitor too. So if you have multiple monitors, you can drag even your playback. So there's a lot of flexibility you have. It will all depend on how powerful your system is and how many monitors you have. So I'm going to close this, back to my home screen, which is this right here, and I'll do a search by event. Search by events allows me to search based on different events, but right now in this particular example, what I like to do is click on reverse here, so uncheck all of these now, and I'm just going to do check on POS, and then I'll go down to live. I believe you may have one. Let's just go ahead and go to live store. Go down to, let's just say, the POS camera one. You can select more than one if you like, and I'll just do, let's just say, no sell. Let's see if there's any no sell. That was wrong up. No. Okay. Let's do. Actually, let's just do search for all of them, and it's going to bring up right now so far within this time frame. There are 2 transactions. We can actually maybe go to yesterday and see. So, and we'll just pick the full time. So we're on yesterday now, and let's just do a search. So if you notice, there's a lot of transaction on that POS from yesterday. Maybe the second POS probably has more because some people use, one terminal more than the other one. So this is the second one, and you can click on playback here, and it shows you the playback of that particular transactions. If you notice, this particular one is using orange color, and you can also back up this if you want. Let's do some searches. Do no cell. Let's see if there's any no cell. Okay, yeah. So we do have some no cell here, and then from here you can click on it and do a playback. So this particular transaction had no cell. There you go. Right here, showing no cell right here. Get more. Yeah, so I'm not sure what this person is doing. There's no staff here. So, anyways, if you're in this business, this may mean something to you. But I'm going to go ahead and close that. So that's pretty much the basic functions of our NVMS. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Thank you for watching.